A warning, some of what you're going to hear next is pretty disturbing. Aaron Durfell has been covering the health beat in Montreal for over 2 decades. And he wasn't surprised for a minute that this pandemic would hit long-term care homes hard.
You don't need to be a rocket scientist to have known this. I mean, anyone who covered health knew that long-term care centers are always hit with outbreaks, whether it's the seasonal flu or VRE or MRSA. These are these superbugs.
But it wasn't until Durfell wrote about what had been taking place at the residence Herron that Quebec and the rest of Canada began to wake up to the scale of the problem. Durfell was deep into reporting on the pandemic when he got a call from a source.
A really good source of mine called me up and just described what had happened. That's when I knew that there was this kind of, I don't know if you would call it a paradigm shift, but that there was something horrific happening.
His source told him that on March 29th, the day after Norma Christie had been left alone in her wheelchair, a nurse from St. Mary's Hospital called Residence Herron. A person from Herron who had been admitted to their emergency room had tested positive for the novel coronavirus. But the nurse couldn't get through. No one at Herron was picking up. The nurse alerted the police and public health authorities and went over to Residence Herron with other workers. And what they found was simply horrifying.
They saw patients who were so dehydrated, mouths were so dry they couldn't speak at first. They were malnourished. They discovered 2 patients dead. Their deaths had gone unrecognized. They saw patients who were on the floors. They saw urine bags that were full to bursting. They were weak. And this just general disorder, this abandonment, that there was no one in charge. It was surreal. It was like they had come to liberate a concentration camp. This is what my source had told me. It was like a concentration camp.
Even for a seasoned newspaperman like Durfell, this was shocking.
I got up really early that morning. I didn't sleep well the night before. It was bothering me. What was described, that it was a concentration camp. I just couldn't sleep well.
So Durfell hit the phones, trying to confirm the information